You are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and across the screen from me is my brown brother,
Sid Sriram, what it do? And I'll be honest, I cut it a little close on the intro this time. So, I pointed at you, and I was like, oh, for a minute, but it worked, I guess. It worked. Welcome. Yeah, go ahead.
Sid and I both want to say Happy New Year's.
Yes.
We hope you had a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or whatever
Kwanzaa.
you celebrate.
I think Kwanzaa, too.
Kwanzaa. Yeah,
I
there's
don't know.
all
Boxing
kinds
Day?
of,
I've heard of, what is Boxing Day? I don't know what that is.
It's a Canadian day that's kind of in the middle of Christmas and Black Friday, I think. I don't know.
You know who else is Canadian? The guy on your shirt.
No. That's right. I got this sweet new dig from Siddharth.
Yeah. I got this right
We
here.
exchanged Christmas gifts.
Yeah, I got this from Timothy. It's I want to say right now my new favorite wrestler since Kenny is out, but I would say Shibata is definitely probably my favorite wrestler right now. Him or it's a toss up between him and Danielson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we always talk about AEW and both of us went with non-AEW wrestlers. Well, Shibata wasn't at the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then he became and then we got the All Elite graphic. But that's cool. And well, speaking of AEW, I gifted this to myself. So if y'all see back there, I have a couple of belts. I have the IWGP US title and the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Championship. I also have the regular WWE title in my bedroom over there. This I got as well. This is the AEW International title. I gotta say, I think this.
Lift it up a little bit higher.
Yeah, there you go. Here, I'll do this. Hold on. There you go. So.
That's upside down, Sid.
Oh Jesus. Fuck. All right. There we go. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it's.
That isn't that good.
Yes, and this was, of course, previously known as the All Atlantic Championship, held by Pac, Orange Cassidy, John Moxley, Ray Phoenix, Orange Cassidy again. So that's cool. But I do like this title a lot. I think this is gotta be like one of my favorite belts of all time. And I think I'm gonna say I kind of like this one a little bit more than the AEW World Heavyweight title, just because of the little splash of color right there in the middle. I think it just looks really nice. And by the way, one interesting detail: if you look at the side plates on both of them, I don't know how clearly you can see it, but that's actually Kenny Omega doing the One-Winged Angel, which is interesting because Kenny Omega was never an international champion, but it's okay. It's cool. It's a cool bit of detail. And I like it. I got this from a belt maker called 360 Belts. They are actually, I'll be honest with you guys. If you guys are looking to get a belt, I would go for some of the guys who are out in Pakistan, because they definitely do it a lot cheaper. For example, the AEW World Title on AEW Shop is $800. I am telling you, a belt maker from freaking Pakistan, he or she, I don't know, usually it's guys, but he will fucking do it for $200. It's a fraction of the price. So there you go.
That's wild.
It is wild, but yeah.
I've never gotten into belt collecting, but a client of mine got the Winged Eagle belt, and I was like, I think I want that. And I told him I was gonna pin him that evening and take it home. But you know how that goes.
Right, yeah. But
let's see.
Yeah, it is the new year, and so
We've been gone for a while,
yeah, we have.
and we said we were gonna do things that we didn't do, so whatever. Uh, we got lives, we're busy and shit, but we decided we were going to cover AEW World's End because of one reason, really. And we'll get to that later. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But this past weekend had a lot of wrestling. On the independent circuit, you had GCW and JCW running shows. You had the IWTV Wrestleable with Beyond and other promotions. And over in the East, there was an All Japan big show and Stardom, their last Queendom show of the year. And we said we were going to cover that. We're going to gloss over it. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about some of the All Japan stuff, and we're going to get to World's End. But we're also going to end this. We're going to end this show with what Sid and I both want to see from wherever in the wrestling world this coming year. And expect a lot of AEW and ROH talk because, we watch those products the most.
And I'll be honest, for me, a little bit of stuff from the Fed. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's a couple of things from the Fed.
Same here.
Yeah.
So this past weekend, I watched all of the Stardom show, which I had to break up into pieces, of course, because it's a Japanese show and it's like 4 to 6 hours long, and
both of them were.
I don't have that in me. Yeah. I broke up All Japan as well. So let's see here. I thought the Stardom show was a really strong outing to top off a really rocky year for the promotion. After the 5-star Grand Prix, you had a lot of top stars out due to injury. Natsupoi's out. Tam had to vacate the titles.
Mercedes was out.
And some other people. But Stardom did a really good job of building up people pretty quickly and fitting people in pretty nicely. I'd say the first match that stood out to me was the 8-woman tag between Stars and Oedo Tai. And the stars of this match were the returning Mayu Iwatani and Fukigen Death of Oedo Tai, who I have to see. I hope New Japan and Stardom do another historic crossover because I need to see interactions between her and Toru Yano. The way she got the ref involved in the match was very fun. Let's see. The 3-woman tag match of Mei Sira, Mina Shikara, and Siri against Takanishi, Yu, and Azumi. Even though Mina Shirakawa and Siri are leaders of 2 different factions, this match made me want them as a tag team very much. Mina gave Siri the room to be a little bit lighter and goofier, and Siri's presence made Mina more vicious and more brutal. And I felt that their chemistry was really good, and I immediately want to see them face Aphrodite for the tag team titles. LOL, Nane Takanishi wins, but it was a good showing. Megan Bain versus Julia was pretty good. I was a Megan Bain fan back in her Beyond days, and so far her Stardom run has been pretty strong. This was for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, and she brought it to Julia. And a lot of us, I think, thought that Megan would have won because there's been so many rumors about Julia's future and where she's going to go. But the title is still on Julia. The two main events, well, the tag match, for the tag titles, I watched the end of it. I skipped around because I'm not really into Momo and Natsuko Toro, even though Toro's entrance gear reminded me of Vader back in the day in Japan. I was just kind of like, at that point, I was pro wrestling out, and I was just like, I'm sure it was good, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but the first two matches I actually watched from this show were the two main events because Stardom's um, streaming feed cut out. So they immediately uploaded them to their YouTube channel, which I thought was a very class move for the promotion.
Yep.
Because you
That's a
had
W.
people paying. If you're not familiar, there is a streaming service called Stardom World. But with these Queendom shows, with their pay-per-views, you, even if you're a Stardom World member, you still have to pay for the pay-per-view. So I imagine a good chunk of people bought this pay-per-view and they immediately were like, "Here, watch it, good," and they haven't taken it down. Um,
That's
for
what's
the
up, though.
for the
That's what's up.
yeah, for the secondary title, which is the white belt, I believe, we had Mirai of God's Eye putting up the title against Sayori Anao,
Mm-hmm.
and I know Sid watched both of these matches.
Yeah.
I watched these the day they came out, so my memory might not be as good as yours, but I was very out of the two main events. They were kind of neck and neck for me, but I liked this one a tad bit more
I
because
agree.
I think there was more pacing in this match,
Yep. Yeah,
and
there was. There
they
was.
really, and not just like, you know, in a lot of Japanese promotions and Joshi promotions, I'll, and especially with Stardom. The last time we talked about Stardom, I said this, that sometimes they need to slow down. And I felt like this match, they did do that because there was an emphasis on submissions throughout this match. Even though a submission did not win the title, uh, it was I felt it was emphasized. Both of these women really impressed me. Um, and I was happy with the decision with going with Sayori Anao because throughout the year I've heard only good things. The matches I've seen of her, I've liked. Same with Mirai, but Mirai I think has held the title for quite some time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Sid.
I think I really liked, like you said, the fast pace. I think there was like a really good sequence of like, of covers there. That's something that I always like, and I think I see that a lot, very prevalent in a lot of these Stardom shows with some of these matches. It's just really cool to see it. Just both of these women really vying for that title. It just kind of brings up that intensity that much more. I know Sayori. I know obviously I know very little about her, but from seeing this match, like she's good. She's really good, and I like her. So we'll see what this young lady has to offer. Like I can't. I'm just so like the fact that all these women are younger than both of us is that just boggles my mind.
The only one who's older than me is Nene Takanishi. That's
Takahashi, yeah.
Takanishi, or yeah.
Nane Takahashi. She co-founder, the lady who co-founded Stardom.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, her.
So, after the match, Sayori wanted a handshake. Mariah acknowledged it, but didn't shake it. Like, she was like, "I
Yeah.
understand, but I'm not happy with
She
myself."
acknowledged it. She's
Um,
not. He's not. That's not the tribal chief for you to acknowledge. Just shake the fucking hand. I'm just kidding.
get, get the fuck out of here. Uh, I made a tribal chief reference the other night during World's End.
Nice.
Um, so the main event was between Micah and Suzu Suzuki.
Yes.
And Stardom has done a really good job this year of building this feud. We saw it in the 5-Star Grand Prix. I believe we saw it on another Queendom show. They have great chemistry. Suzu is younger than Micah. Micah has been around since Donna Del Mondo formed. And everyone has kind of been dying for a Micah title run because, she was in the tag division with Himeka. Himeka left. She's had 3 or 4 opportunities at the title and came very close. And Suzu is like a prodigy at her age. I don't remember the age she is, but she's very young. I remember that.
Yeah.
But this match, you said in the last match, seeing the 2 women vie for the title so strongly, I feel like that statement applies to this match like 20-fold. It started off really hot. They threw each other into the crowd like 3 or 4 times.
They did.
Uh,
That was
Micah tried to power bomb Suzu off the apron through a table, but it turned into a Hurricane Rana. Suzu went all the way up like 3 or 4 flights of stairs for a running head start to like knee Micah in the head, who was draped over the apron. These 2 like beat the shit out of each other. And after 2 very strong looking Michinoku drivers, Micah ended up winning. It's also should be noted that during this show, Tam Nakano came out, talked about how she felt terrible that she had to relinquish the titles and that she couldn't be performing. And I think she even thought of retiring, but she will be coming back.
nice.
So yeah. Also, in the first match, Donna Del Mondo did really well. I was very impressed with Tekla. Very impressed. But yeah, your thoughts on this match, Sid?
I'll be honest, like I missed like a little bit in the middle of the match, but whatever I saw, like definitely was awesome. Suzuki is, I mean, these women are just really good. I don't. I'm sorry I make such broad statements, but like, yeah, I think that this one, I think I should have paid attention a little bit more. But whatever I saw was good. That's all I can really say, and I know that's not very much like analytical,
So
but
if you're also, Sid, you make those broad statements because you're not as in tuned with the promotion as I.
no, I'm not.
So
Yeah,
when you're watching, you're not watching with an analytical eye. You're watching as like a first or second time
yeah.
viewer.
I'm trying to still like get into Star. Well, I've enjoyed what I've seen of Stardom, but I'm still trying to like be more like get deeper into it, if that makes sense.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And if any of you feel the same way, John and I did an episode of Why You Should Be Watching, and we had Michael Jargo on, who does his own podcast on New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom, talking about the said promotion. So you can go in the archives and check that out. But yeah, I enjoyed the show, and I didn't think I wasn't going to enjoy the show. I never think that I'm going to not enjoy a Stardom show. Now, All Japan, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep one night, and it was World's End night. I came home. I was still all jazzed up, and then I was looking on Fight, and this show was on. I didn't even know All Japan Pro Wrestling was starting a deal with Triller, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's this?" So I put it on, and luckily I had tuned in just in time for the main event with Kento Miyahara challenging for the Triple Crown title against one of my favorite wrestlers, Katsuhiko Nakajima. And so I watched the main event first, just like I did with Stardom, and then I went backward. Um, the show So the show started with a six-man match that featured Naruki Doi and Minoru Tanaka on one side and the astronauts on the other, who is Takuya Nomura and Fuminori Abe. Now, we did a whole episode on a match between Fuminori Abe and Takuya Nomura. And we spoke about how they've been the tag champions in BJW and everything like that. I've went on Cage Match and seen how All Japan books them, and it was no different in this match, and it upset me. I don't know why All Japan isn't as strongly into them as I am. Maybe it's because they work other promotions, but this show, which was a big show for All Japan, had workers from all over. There were, I know that L. Lindemann and T Hawk and some other guys, they do a lot of GLEAT stuff. Um, and you had a tag match here with Ueno and Toy from DDT against Rising Hayato and Atsuki Aogi, which was fucking awesome. You had Kurashiro, Tokyo, Japan. I'm just gonna call him Ikumen Jiro. Uh, he was in a tag match.
You
Um,
WWE mark, god damn it.
he was against somebody of no, yeah, T Hawk, and he did the fucking entrance thing again. And I'm just thinking, does he only do this on big shows or does he do this on every show? Like he did the entire thing. Like he went back and did it again.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh my fucking god! Like it's hilarious. It's so polarizing to me because while I'm watching it, and while I watched it in the DDT show, I was laughing and then I would get pissed and then I'd laugh and then I'd get pissed. Like it was just, it's really, it's really weird. Um,
Yeah.
I liked the semi-main event. Suzuki teamed with old Suzuki-gun member Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Hakuto Omori, who I was very impressed with during the All Together Again shows. Um, and it seems like All Japan's really going in on him. He's a former MMA fighter, and he had a winning, a winning career. Um, but you had the Saito brothers, who are, I believe, are the tag team champions, facing each other for Rookie of the Year, and the one who didn't look like a monster won. Um, really, really like Rising Hayato and Atsuki Aogi. Um, Rising Hayato reminds me of, it's like if Jeff Hardy wasn't born in North Carolina but was raised in Japan at this time. Like he's a little he's I get very big charismatic enigma vibes, but also kind of like a newer sense of it. Um really dig that guy. But the main event, holy shit. It is not hard to figure out why Katsuhiko Nakajima decided to leave Noah for All Japan Pro Wrestling. Um because this is how you book the motherfucker. This dude, okay, I've been watching Noah on and off since the pandemic started. And as soon as I turned on Noah, I was already impressed with Nakajima in the first match I seen him. Then he won 2 N1s, and him and Shiozaki had battles, him and Keno had battles, etc. but it never felt like Noah was ever going to go away from Shiozaki. And I'm sure Kaito Kiyomiya feels that way too. Nakajima came into All Japan only a month or two ago, beat Yuma Aogi for the title, and started fucking with Kento because Kento is the ace of All Japan Pro Wrestling, and they had a banger of a match in Noah earlier this year. This match was no exception. If you if you have not watched any wrestling from this past weekend and you're only going to watch one match, watch this match because it fucking ruled.
It's brutal.
Miyahara came off as the ace, as the respected one, as the loved one. Nakajima came off as the badass that he is. And it went down to the wire, and Nakajima fucking won.
By
He
the skin of
tapped
his teeth, for sure.
Yeah. He didn't win with the kicks. He didn't win with the spike brainbuster. He won with a kind of like a Fujiwara armbar that Becky Lynch does, but it was higher angled and he was working on the fingers. And that shit was awesome to me. Now, during the match and after the match, there was an older gentleman, and I did not do any research. I don't know who he is, but he had to be somebody important.
Yeah, I didn't
And
either.
to send the crowd home, this old man had a red
Scarf?
towel around his neck,
No towel.
like Inoki. And then Nakajima had it. And then he said 1, 2, 3, da to send home the crowd, which is what Inoki used to do. And this is crazy because it's happening in an All Japan ring. And if you don't know your Euro history, Ricky Dozon, students, Giant Baba, Antonio Inoki. Break off, Inoki started New Japan, Baba started All Japan. So it was pretty crazy to see. You watched this match, correct? Sid?
Yeah, I did. I like I said, it was pretty fucking brutal, and like you said, it went down to the wire. Both these guys just kind of laid it out in the ring, and absolutely just had like the passion and the intensity again was there so freaking hard. Like I said, Nakajima retained his title through the skin of his teeth, and it was just so great to see. Now I do have to ask you, since his opponent is known as the Ace of All Japan, have he and Tanahashi had a match ever?
They either wrestled against each other in a multi-man tag at all together again, or they were on the same team.
Oh,
I don't
okay, so they
remember.
never had a one-on-one.
In the main event, yeah. But whenever he was having his big run in All Japan, people were comparing him more to Okada.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. There's something overlapping. Charlie Dempsey, also known as Billy Regal's son,
Oh yeah.
was on the show, and he won his match, which was a tag match.
Yeah.
And he is wrestling Nakajima for the title on the 6th of January.
And he is currently signed to NXT. So
Now, here's a couple of things. There was reports of WWE wanting to work with All Japan and Stardom, and I think Noah. And then there were reports that like all of the promotions that really matter in Japan were like coming together, and not just for a show, but like for a coalition or an alliance. So I don't understand what's really happening and what that's for. Like, because
okay,
people have been talking about NXT Japan since forever, and they're
right.
still talking about it.
Okay, but this
And
is go ahead.
and Japan has been a place where WWE hasn't been able to penetrate. But they have had talent exchanges in the past.
Right. Like
Now,
Nakamura and Balor and all these guys.
no, I mean in the old days, man.
Oh, back
Like
then.
there was a lot there was a lot of crossover. They
Yeah,
even
like
had
yeah.
a wrestling summit with WWF, All Japan, and New Japan. And
Yeah,
it
I mean
never
like
happened
Taka.
again.
I know Taka Michinoku wrestled a handful of matches in WWE.
He was signed.
He was okay. I thought he was like
He was
with
the light
other.
heavyweight champion.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And then he became a member of Kaientai. But anyway, we're talking about what we want to see in the future at the end of this show. I can't watch I will not allow myself to watch WWE until the old man is completely gone. And we saw Endeavor them sell to Endeavor, and with all of the sex scandals of the past year and a half with McMahon, he sold 30% of his shares because supposedly Endeavor sees him as a liability, which they should. If the old man steps down and Triple H takes over and Endeavor takes over, I'll be on board again. And if what I want to see, and it's with Charlie Dempsey, but it's more just NXT in general, and maybe some underdeveloped talent on the main roster, I would not mind WWE adopting the excursion method. Seeing Charlie Dempsey in All Japan against these guys and knowing that he's going to face Nakajima, I'm excited about it. I think it's cool. And I would like to see that happen. Instead of WWE going into an area like the UK, raping the entire scene and then leaving,
Yeah.
this would be a better way
Well,
for
Vince literally
WWE.
and then WWE figuratively, but
Yeah. So that's the only thing about the Fed that I want to see happen in 2024. But
we're getting
before
into
we
that. I
get
thought
to
we were gonna. Okay.
no, before I had to bring it up because Charlie Dempsey was on this show.
Okay.
So I didn't really know how to navigate all the way over World's End. So AEW World's End happened,
Yeah.
and we were deciding whether we were going to do a show or not. And Sid said, I thought it was pretty meh, so I don't think we should do it. And I said, I thought it was the absolute shits, aside from 2 matches. And I think that's exactly why we should do it. Because if you listen to us, if you watch us, you know that a lot of our grades for whole shows are usually between B and A. And that's not what this is going to be.
Yeah. It.
Um,
Yeah. It was something. Let's put it that way. It was something.
Kudos to Tony Khan for putting on 3 women's matches,
Yeah.
if you include 0 Hour.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk much about 0 Hour. We're just going to talk about the main show.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Started off with an 8-man tag of all the guys from Continental Classic who didn't have anything to do that night, aka not the 2 finalists and Swerve. This was a good match. They did the New Japan thing, just throw them all together after the big show where the final is.
Yeah.
And Brody King made Matt Menard a tiny, tiny boy. He got in his face with Daniel Garcia and he said, sit your ass down, bitch. You're not going to do shit. And then after the match, after Garcia won the match off of Brody King, he left. He went out and clocked Menard, which is interesting. But this match was actually worth watching.
It was good. It was good.
But at the same time, It didn't matter. And throughout this show, until you got to Edge, Adam Copeland against Christian
It's okay. It's
Cage,
gonna take some time. So
none of the matches mattered. And the
yeah,
Long Island crowd let you know. Uh,
'cause they were waiting for their
if we,
boy. They were waiting for their boy. That's why.
I mean, we got Dustin filling in for Keith Lee, who was injured against Swerve. Shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened at all.
Yeah.
If Keith Lee was injured, you could have gave Swerve promo time or whatever.
Well, here's the thing.
Like,
okay.
nobody wants to see Dustin Rhodes wrestle in 2023, 2024. The man is so washed, he's bleached.
He
And
needs to just go and work on his wrestling school. That's what he needs to do.
yeah,
But I'll
yeah.
say this. Yeah, go ahead. I'll just say like one good thing to come out of this was like, because like after the pay-per-view was over, they did have like these kind of like raw kind of interviews on YouTube, which was pretty cool. They had it with Swerve, they had it with Daniel Garcia, they had it with Eddie Kingston. We'll talk about that in a sec. But literally Swerve, and I don't think he was just talking kayfabe, but he's literally like, I'm not wasting my time anymore. He literally legit said this match right here was a waste of my time. Dustin Rhodes wasted my fucking time. And I have my goals for 2024 to be the first ever Black AEW World Champion. And all I can say is I am ready to swerve when I drive. So
I swear to God, Swerve has been campaigning that all year round, and I'm ready for it.
yep.
I'll get into that more when we talk about the world title match. But so the booking of this match upset me. So before the bell,
yeah, go ahead.
Swerve stomps Dustin's leg through or whatever with a cinder block. It takes like 8 guys to get Dustin back on his feet. Somehow Dustin gets in the ring. Somehow Dustin gets to his feet. Swerve attacks him right away. Boom. Should have been over. Kept going. Somehow, Dustin Rhodes is pulling off his power slams and this and that and everything else. No selling that leg. Now, I'm not a big stickler on that kind of shit. But given that we didn't get Lee and Swerve, which kind of I feel is a blessing in disguise, and we had to get Dustin, and then given what had just happened to Dustin, this match should not have been as long as it was.
Should have just been
I
a
know that
squash.
we're out of order because this was like the 3rd or 4th match, but
Yeah, I think the first match was Miro versus Andrade, which is kind of disappointing because I like both these guys. But
both of them fucking phoned it in.
they did.
Andrade finally given something good with the Continental Classic, and he's deciding to leave, which is fucking annoying to me. Miro, in my opinion, gets in his own way because he only does things he wants to do and he won't do business otherwise. And who in the fuck wants to see CJ Perry turning on Andrade to go to help Miro? The only thing that was interesting about this match was the dynamic between CJ and Miro. Right? That's the whole reason this match even happened.
Pretty much, yeah.
So now that whole story is done. And so what? So what it was lukewarm. It was lukewarm at best. And honestly, dude, the crowd was flat for most of the evening, which took me out of it. Tony Storm and Riho happened, and I was making my dinner at the time. And I didn't go
Bro,
back and watch it
I
because
was.
Tony Storm won, and I don't give a fuck.
Speaking of which,
I mean, I'm happy that she won. I knew she was going to win, but the
bro,
match didn't matter. The difference between the 3 matches that mattered and all the rest is that the 3 matches, the 3 main events have been built. And this is the fucking problem with AEW right now.
oh wow, there's a problem with AEW. Wow, we're actually talking about stuff that AEW needs to improve.
I don't know if it's Tony Khan's fault. I don't know if it's Warner's fault. Maybe Warner wanted them to keep chugging out pay-per-views. But
Yeah,
we're
maybe.
starting to feel the effects how we started to feel with WWE with oversaturation. You go from 4 pay-per-views that are must absolutely see to I don't even know how many we had this year.
I think it's
but
like
we
8
had
or 9.
the addition of All In, we had Wrestle Dream, we had this. I don't know, but it's starting to feel
Forbidden Door.
oversaturated. Pushed like Julia Hart and Abaddon could have been great. Same with Tony Storm and Riho. Same with most of the matches on the mid and undercard.
Miro and Andrade could have been great.
For any of us to give a fuck about. And that was the problem with WWE. And so they started doing the whole 50-50 booking shit after that. And it's no good.
Let me tell you this. You were talking about how you were making dinner. I took it one step further. My family and I went out for dinner. I was like, bro, what the fuck is this? I saw the Miro Andrade match and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, hey, so are we ready for dinner? They're like, yeah, let's go. Oh, okay, let's go. So I think I came back actually when Copeland versus Christian Cage was going on. So,
which is when anyone who was going to watch this show should have started.
Pretty much.
And I have gripes with that match too. So
yes,
on the pre-show, Luchasaurus, who hasn't been seen with Christian Cage in the past couple of weeks, won the Battle Royal for the next in line, anywhere, anytime,
any place,
TNT title,
aka Money in the Bank,
right?
AKA Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank for the TNT title.
Pretty much.
You had botched spots, especially with the flaming table.
Oh, yeah.
But all in all, the original match was good and exciting.
I was half expecting... because Shayna Wayne is on Christian Cage's side now. Which, by the way, understandable. Edge fucking murdered her son. But no,
right.
And I was half expecting freaking Beth Copeland to come out and beat the shit out of her. That would have been...
I was waiting for that too, and it didn't happen.
That would have been great. I would have loved it, honestly.
Adam overcame the odds and won.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
And
then Luchasaurus comes out. And here's the mystique, Sid.
Exactly.
And I'm sure you were thinking it, and everyone else was thinking it.
Yeah.
Is this when Luchasaurus finally lets his balls drop, gets out of Cage's shadow, wins the title for himself, and walks away?
Nope.
Cage gets in his ear, says some shit. Luchasaurus is, struggling, and he hands it over to Cage.
Oh, I mean...
Cage hands it over to Turner, and Cage gets the belt right back.
You could have just had Cage win the fucking match.
It was so anticlimactic.
It was. It was stupid.
So anticlimactic.
It's stupid. I was like, dude.
You either have Edge win, you either have Christian win, or you have Luchasaurus win. You don't have Luchasaurus give him the fucking thing and have him win the title back. Because now the story has to be dead. And now they have to figure out something for Adam. Because if Adam won, you would have Christian the heel trying to get the title back.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Adam going back after Christian. Because this is bad decision making, in my opinion.
I don't know what happened. What's up with Tony? I don't know. I don't know what Tony was thinking. I legitimately feel like this is, going back to the whole point of like oversaturation. I do feel like this is Tony Khan experiencing burnout, and now he's just like, all right, and I feel like he's starting to kind of run on fumes this year. So at least 2023, he was like, at least for this pay-per-view, I feel like he was running on fumes. So it just was, yeah. But I mean, yeah, like you said, the match wasn't bad. Like, yeah, except for that fire table spot, the match was okay. But you had this freaking, I'm sorry to say it, but this WWE kind of bullshit happening, and I don't know why you need that. Why do you even need a whole like Money in the Bank type of concept for the TNT title? Isn't that like your secondary title?
It would have worked if Luchasaurus broke off.
Exactly.
And I get it. The title's back on Christian. Christian, I've been saying
Christian's
all
a great
year,
champion. I agree.
But I do not want to see this feud continue. I think it's dead in the water now.
At this point, Copeland can go for this one. Not mine, but for Orange Cassidy's. I would love to see that. I guess give him something fresh. Let him stay away from Christian Cage for the foreseeable future. You want to revisit that back down the line, fine, but not immediately, please.
The Darby Allin, Jericho Guevara, all that match. Honestly, Jess and I were watching, and we were like, we'd rather see Takeshita face Darby, or Takeshita face Sammy.
That would have been good.
Yeah, like
Fletcher versus Sammy would have been great too.
And guess what, Internet? I'm not going to talk about allegations on the internet about someone.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No,
because I'm not like you. I don't crucify people. I don't not forgive people, and I don't make conclusions without evidence.
Yeah.
So, fuck you, IWC.
Isn't IWC also
Who gave you the moral high ground? You're just an asshole with an opinion and a computer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Isn't IWC also
in no way am I defending anyone who may or may not be guilty. I'm just saying, you don't know shit. I don't know shit. So shut the fuck up. Moving on.
Isn't IWC a root beer as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I like that IWC. Anyway.
And it's a wrestling promotion in Pittsburgh that's streamed on Triller.
Oh, dope. Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway. We had the finals of the Continental Classic.
Mox
fucking awesome.
That was really good. Really good match.
Yeah.
And,
this was Eddie's tournament from the beginning. Eddie had 3 years of straight losses. And we all were saying he's the people's champion. When's he going to win? When's he going to win? And finally, 2023 was the year of redemption for Eddie Kingston. He overcame every guy who beat him, everybody who called him a bum, and of course his final boss for all the marbles was his friend who he lost to for the AEW World title, Jon Moxley. They brought it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
The right man won.
Danielson on commentary was pretty good too, although there was a missed opportunity for Danielson and Nigel McGuinness to interact on commentary. But fine, whatever. It would have made for more...
That fucking clam digger. Can anyone... There's another thing. If you watch this on YouTube, leave a comment. If you are on Twitter, whatever,
What the fuck
um,
was that?
that was hilarious. I don't know. You just sent up balloons, bro.
I
Um,
Happy birthday to
Happy
me.
New Year.
Yeah, I guess.
um, please tell me what a clam digger is and why it is a negative thing, because
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been asking people and they don't know.
Maybe it's a
Um,
British thing.
Speaking of world of titles that I would like to own, aside from the Winged Eagle,
That
I
Triple
really
Crown
like
title.
that continental. That continental belt is fucking
It
awesome.
it looks
And
good.
when it was unveiled with the crown, I said, "What's the king without a crown, ho? What's the king without a crown, ho?" Big crit, love
Big
him.
crit.
Um, but just a feel good moment after a really good match, and
Yep.
then
They
we
embraced
had the
afterwards,
main.
which is good.
Yes, which should have happened.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad to say about this match.
Yeah.
Um, and I
A
would also
sleeper
say
hit.
that about the next match. A lot of people didn't think Joe could do it. A lot of people thought the MJF run was still going to go on. I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. And the reason why is because solely, and let's say Max isn't injured. He is,
He is, yeah.
but let's say he wasn't. Let's say, for all intents and purposes, Max is completely fine. I still would have expected Joe to win. Why? Because the man single handedly saved AEW's biggest event ever. When everything was going off the rails before the show even started, Samoa Joe got that shit under control. He did what a consummate professional, a man would do. And then he set the tone for that locker room for the rest of the night. That ship was about to sink, and he single-handedly pulled it back up and put it on the right uh track, whatever, and stream. Let's say stream, right? Because of sailing.
Right.
Um, I thought that was going to happen. He also said he was going to take everything away from him. Previously in the week, the ROH Tag Team Championships were taken away from him, in part due to Samoa Joe. I knew it was Cole, and the only
Oh
thing
yeah,
that
yeah.
I didn't know was the fourth henchman being Wardlow. I thought maybe they were good. Kyle was ready to come back. Now see that WWE shit worked for me.
Yeah.
The end of this match. Um, but I liked how this match ended. Throughout the match, Cole was a good guy, good friend. He didn't fuck up.
Well, a little
And I
bit
like
because when uh, MJF asked for the ring, Cole was like patting his
worst
pocket.
best man ever.
Yeah. Patting. And that was definitely. I mean, from after what we saw in the end, that for sure was deliberate because Samoa Joe had the time to get up and put him in that coquina clutch and shit. So, you know.
And he just and it just happened. He put him in the thing and then it was over and it was like, oh shit, really?
Whoa.
Like, yeah. Like there wasn't like with the match with Jay White, there wasn't all this back and forth like goofy bullshit. It was just like Joe fucking killed him.
Right.
And then how did we get was it the devil stuff? Yeah. So Cole gets in the ring and consoles
Yeah.
MJF, and
Devil's
then
henchmen come out.
henchmen come out, the lights go out because Cole can't move his legs real well. And that's when I said the tribal chief thing. Because with this chair, I
Yeah.
said, is the tribal chief going to make Sami Zayn hit his friend? Because he was like, Like,
Yeah.
is he going to give it to Adam Cole? And then when the lights came on, Adam was sitting in the chair, and MJF was betrayed. Now we know why Strong and the Kingdom and Wardlow hate MJF. Why? I want to hear from Adam Cole. I want to hear what that man has to say.
Yeah,
I think
that's definitely some intrigue right there. I think that's like the most interesting thing about this pay-per-view was obviously the reveal of the devil, as it should have been. Now, I'll tell you this. A lot of people were complaining that it was predictable. Oh, it was Cole. Hold on. Let me finish. It was predictable.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's Cole. Oh, it should have been this guy. It's like, even though it's predictable, so what?
predictable. For months, those motherfuckers were guessing who it was. They were saying CM Punk, Will Ospreay,
Will Ospreay, what the bro?
Britt Baker. They said all kinds of shit. What are they talking about predictability? Because the same people who were saying that after it was revealed are the same motherfuckers for months were throwing out names out of a hat.
Or out of their ass.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, get out of here with that predictability shit, bro. Nah, I ain't listening to that.
Adam Cole was perfect, I think. I don't think that anyone else would have made sense. Well, a couple of people may have made sense, but no, Adam Cole.
Another reason why I thought Joe was going to win is because Swerve is campaigning to be the first black champion.
Yeah.
I don't buy Swerve beating MJF. I can buy Swerve beating Samoa Joe because Samoa Joe is older and like they're not the same age and Swerve can bring something different. With Swerve and MJF, I don't think having babyface MJF big run lose to Swerve. I don't see that.
Yeah.
But I can see and buy Swerve beating Joe. But yeah, so I'm going to grade this show. C means average, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rate it a D plus.
D plus, yeah. I'm gonna say probably the same. Just except for the last like 3 matches. Well, honestly, the last 2 matches, the only 2 matches that we liked were which were the Continental Classic final and the main event. And yeah, maybe that first 8-man tag, if it goes anywhere, because like Daniel Garcia did get the W. If that is
second W on Brody.
Exactly. So if that does, what is the word? If that does lead to what is all this shit? What is all this shit? Oh god, yeah, my freaking I don't know. I think it's a Discord or OBS. I don't know what it is, but if that does constitute in Daniel Garcia eventually, getting a big push, going for something, going for the TNT or this one, the international title, I'm all for it. Or go for Eddie. I don't care. Something. Not.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Garcia begrudgingly won the respect of
Shibata.
Bryan Danielson after the match.
Yeah.
What if he looks back and sees how Menard was bitched out by Brody King, doesn't get mad, and instead of staying with Angelo and Menard, goes to BCC?
Yeah. I think he should. Honestly, I would like to see him venture out on his own. Like, I don't think he wants shit. Like, he came in with Menard and Ange, but I think he's just fine by himself. Let him become like Red Death one more time and let him have that whole run. I think, honestly, even the whole I feel like the partnership between 2.0 is also slowly deteriorating because Ange is wanting to spend more time with Ruby Soho. And even the whole Outcast thing is also kind of I don't want to say lost its way, but definitely run out of gas. So I mean, it's time for Soraya to do something new. Obviously, it looks like
Which
Ange and
is,
yeah,
it looks like she's recruited QTV standout Harley, right? Harley
Harley
something,
Cameron, Harley Cameron.
Harley
Oh, she
Cameron.
has. Okay, I didn't see that.
And I should remember her name because I really think she's special. Like her rap was fantastic. Her character was great. Um,
And
but
she got time. She got time. So
eh, I have nothing against the workers on this show. I have nothing against the matches, but
the
there was no
booking,
reason to give a shit about most of them.
true,
And that's and
that's
it
very
was evident in the arena, and it came across the screen as well.
yeah. And the worst part is it's very like out of that's not usually AEW's mo. Usually when I do see pay-per-views, it's always like there's a reason for every single match. So I mean, I don't know what went wrong here. um, like you said, it could have been Tony running on like I said, it could have been Tony running on fumes, or like you said, it could be Warner. Whatever the
Yeah,
case may be, like they need to fix this, you know, because going into the new
indeed.
year, that they need to, there's got to be some sort of changes. Like Tony Khan, I do feel like Tony Khan is, thinking as more of like a wrestling fan than he is as a businessman. A lot of times, I feel, especially with everything to do with CM Punk. Like CM Punk was like his shiny new toy, and he didn't want it to, and he saw that it was breaking, but he was trying to he was trying to put the proverbial super glue on it to fix it, but it just kept breaking, so he finally had to throw it in the trash where it belonged. So but he has to be willing to make hard decisions. I think he's afraid to do that. But that's why he recruited Bryan Danielson to, say, "Hey, look, dude, like this, he's got to go." And that's
Right.
apparently Danielson and Punk were actually good friends. But
They probably still are. It's business.
I mean, I hope.
Either way, so AEW World's End gets a D plus from Armbar Audio.
Sad.
Now, looking to the future, Cedric,
Yes, Tim Sid.
what do you want to see in 2024?
I want WWE AEW invasion. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. Maybe okay, well maybe an ROH. I want to see an AEW ROH paper. Well, I would say that, but then there's already a shit ton of pay-per-view, so fuck that. Um
And basically,
yeah,
every AEW and ROH pay per view is an AEW and ROH pay per view.
basically.
I want to see if we're on AEW, if we're going to go with AEW first,
Yeah.
I have three things mainly. Number one, complete brand splits. Get rid of Rampage. Have only Dynamite,
And
Collision, and put ROH on TV, right?
Please.
And all three are different and have different rosters. Then the other thing is Malachi Black has not had a singles match, I think, in over a year.
Yeah.
I do
The
know
last
I
one.
do not know why, but it is making a lot of noise on the internet. And I agree with these people. Malachi Black, I love Brody King. There were three members of BCC in the Continental Classic. There's no reason why Malachi Black couldn't have been in that tournament. They're missing opportunities big time with having this man in the tag scene in the trio scene. Come on, come on, you got to do something. Give me something, man. He's got so many toys to play with. Think about Danielson. Think about fucking Claudio. Think about Moxley. Think about Takeshita. Think about all of these people,
Darby.
man.
Darby.
Darby,
Darby.
Ibushi,
This guy.
Shibata, yeah,
This motherfucker.
Samoa Joe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like,
I mean,
the
come on.
yeah, the last singles match that he had was with Cody Rhodes. And nothing against Cody Rhodes, but that's just not enough. You know? Speaking of, well,
Here's another.
I'll get into Cody Rhodes.
My third and final thing about AEW. If an ex-WWE guy doesn't want to be there anymore or
Let
is
him
not
go.
willing to do business, let them go. If an ex-WWE star wants to come over, have a solid screening process. I don't want to watch people half-ass their work.
Yeah. Well, in that sense, for me, I think I definitely want to see a push. Okay, hold on. What's up?
Oh, go ahead. I have one more thing about AEW, but you go ahead. You already started talking.
I just want to see a little. I mean, and I think we're starting to see it. And also, Tony Khan mentioned that he is, definitely going to be very active in the free agent kind of thing. And I think, kind of to your point, what I want to see is Tony Khan not become Vince McMahon in that he wants to gather up all the shiny new toys so that the other kids don't get to play. Like you said,
Right.
if for example, I know one of the hottest prospects is Mercedes Moné. She did apparently have talks with returning to WWE, which didn't go over. Obviously, that if she wants to, doesn't have to just go to AEW. She could go to Impact. She could go back to Stardom. She can go to New Japan and that women's division. She can do a lot of different things. Let her do that, like you said, if she wants to. Don't force her into AEW. If she don't want to play, just don't worry about it.
It's another thing. Outside of Forbidden Door and maybe Wembley, I want AEW to be exclusive. For the first 4 years, having all that crossover was great, but you need to start becoming a little bit more exclusive.
Yeah,
I'm starting not to like it. And I also don't like how AEW treats New Japan.
Yeah.
I think a lot of New Japans feel that way.
Yeah, we know one in particular.
I muted that person.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
I don't see their shit anymore.
Yeah, I'll probably do the
I
same.
only see their shit if I look for it.
Yeah.
But not that there's matches I want to see or whatever. It's about like solidifying your own personality and your own. We need to get away from so much crossover. Like, if Moxley shows up at Wrestling Revolver or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Cool.
I mean, like
Danielson versus Okada, we're gonna get it at Wrestle Kingdom, which is great. That doesn't mean that all the we need to see, as I mentioned in jest, we need to see a fucking New Japan invasion on AEW, or vice versa.
Right. Just,
you know.
And another thing is, like, I understand Ibushi's a certain type of cat, but if other people, like, I think maybe Bandito has a similar type of contract, maybe Ray Phoenix too. I don't know.
I'm thinking Santana does, Mike Santana. And Ortiz.
No more of this shit, dude. I don't want to not see Bandito forever because he decided to go back to Mexico. Same with Phoenix or whatever.
and,
Like
and
if
Pac.
you're gonna
Yeah.
lock in talent, lock them fucking in. Uh, that's like it. Just I'm over it. I'm over that. Um. So yeah, that's those are the things I do and don't want to see from AEW this year. New Japan. I I really like where they're going. I'm excited for Wrestle Kingdom. Um, I know this is gonna be hard for me to say, but I wanna see Sonata retain against Naito. I don't care if he didn't get to do the LIJ roll call before, because I think just five guys is awesome.
The
And
fries are pretty good.
I I think House of Torture is actually on a. I never thought I'd say this, but like they're actually all right now. And
Why is it so
David
hard for you to
Finley,
say all these things? Just say it, man.
because he's not because I love Naito, and because I've been vehemently against House of Torture, but I really like I really like what's happening right
Okay.
now over there. Um, but like what I do want to see is I want to see Okan get a singles title at some point in 24. I want to see Aaron Hanare hold the badass motherfucker title, aka the Never title. I want to see um, Jeff Cobb rise up as the leader of the United Empire in Japan, as Will Ospreay and Aussie Open are in AEW. Um, that's another thing. When Will Ospreay comes to AEW, I want a feud right away with Don Callis, and maybe make it a subplot of what's Kyle Fletcher gonna do, side with Ospreay or side with blah blah blah, Don Callis, and then maybe Mark Davis is ready to come back, and he sides with Osprey, and he's like, Kyle, what the fuck? Why aren't you over here? That story completely needs to happen.
Yep.
Um, I like how a lot of Japanese promotions, including New Japan, have opened up their forbidden doors, and I want to see more of it. Um, I want to see Stardom. I know I just said I want to see exclusivity, but I wouldn't mind seeing Stardom show up a bit. You have Serena Deeb coming back.
Yep.
There's the possibility of Mercedes being signed. Jamie Hayter's coming back
Yep.
sometime in 2024. And right now, the women's division in AEW is looking pretty fucking strong. I think I think it would be beneficial um to both. Um and also, like I said, instead of getting rid of Rampage and replacing it with ROH, if they can't do that, make Rampage an all women's wrestling show.
Hmm.
You'll probably get the same amount
Interesting.
of viewers.
Interesting. That could work. I
Um, let's see. Uh, yeah. I want to see Adam Priest, Alex Hammerstone, Richard Holiday, and uh Jacob Fatu, and fucking Alex Kane get contracts in either Impact or AEW or a Japanese promotion.
just
I want
not
to see those
WWE.
guys. Uh,
So I don't want them to go
Not
to
WWE, and I'm not counting MLW because MLW is a weird smorgasbord of wrestlers. Um, because a lot of them are there already, but they are also like in GCW. It feels like Court Bauer of MLW grabbed a bunch of GCW and ex GCW guys and was like, "I'm gonna present you this way," while Brett presents you that way. Okay, and then Brett was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And but I mean, I like MLW. I feel these guys should be. Same with Kevin Blackwood. I'd like to see Kevin Blackwood, and also the guys that AEW has featured a lot. I'd like to see Brian Keith, Jack Cartwheel,
sign
Starboy
them. Yeah.
Charlie, Titus Alexander. There's a good crop of independent talents that I would like to see on a bigger platform.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see what TNA has up their sleeve this year. Um, I saw it was announced there's a tag title match at Hard to Kill, and Grizzled Young Vets are on it. And I don't know
Hmm.
if Grizzled Young Vets are signed to Impact, but they should be because that match I watched between them and the Rascals,
That was
who
good.
work for Impact or TNA. That shit ruled.
That was good.
Um,
Kind of want to
yeah,
see. You know, it doesn't have
Yuka
to.
Sakazaki.
Okay, great. Now, just kidding.
No, she graduated last month from Tokyo Joshi Pro,
Oh,
so she should be coming to AEW full time.
she should. That would be
So I'm
great.
excited to see what happens there.
She should. Yeah. I think I would love to see something like you talked about Impact, you talked about TNA. I know we said we don't want to see too much of the whole cross promotion thing. It doesn't have to be like another like a full show, but I mean the working relationship that Impact and AEW had, I kind of want to see that a little bit more because what they did with when Kenny Omega was the belt collector, that was cool. And I want to see like a little bit more of something like, them being able to work together a little bit better. Not so, okay, fine. Interrupt me. Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
I have to. I have to. If you look, if you compare AEW with Impact and AEW with New Japan, and you compare that to TNA / Impact's working relationship with New Japan, TNA and New Japan partnership is so much better than the other two. And I don't know if that's because Tony Khan thinks he's the shit. I don't know if it's because AEW doesn't want to give leeway, because you were saying that you liked Impact and AEW's stuff. I didn't, because outside of Kenny Omega, nobody else, nobody from TNA or Impact at the time was coming over onto AEW television, and nobody else aside from Omega was going over to AEW.
Well,
Like,
Christian Cage was for a little bit.
right.
Yeah, because he beat okay, fine, because he beat Kenny for the Impact World Title, so he went there and
Right.
defended it. And I think there was even Matt Hardy and what is that tag team name again? Mark Quinn and Isaiah
Private
Cassidy.
Party.
Private Party. They were there for a little bit. They went there.
Yeah, you're right. They went there, but there was like I
Yeah, there
wanted
was
to
no
see
Impact.
Rosemary
Yeah,
show up. Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
it's like the same thing with New Japan. They bring in New Japan guys to lose to AEW and to further along AEW storylines. The only one that wasn't like that was Sonata and Jungle Boy, and I bet Okada and Danielson, because even though Okada lost on AEW TV, I'm willing to bet he beats Danielson at the Dome.
Yeah, yeah, that's there. I definitely would love to see. Obviously they're going to do the Continental Classic again this year sometime, but I want to see like more, people who are not as utilized in that tournament because, you know, people who are not chasing after the big world titles, you know, people like Garcia, people like fucking Miro, that would give him something to do, you know, and so many other talent like, well, not Swerve Strickland. Swerve just needs to be making a beeline for Samoa Joe at this point. That's all we need. I need that 2024 needs to end with Swerve as the AEW World Champion. It needs at least that.
It needs to end with it, but it could start or be in the middle, wherever.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like my main title reigns to be a little bit lengthy. Like, for example, Hangman Page was too fucking short. So I really wanted MJF to take that off of Hangman instead of Punk. I get it, but also no. I think it should have done that. But, you know.
I want to see Tetsuya Endo beat Daisuke Sasuke because he lost to him again in the DDT tournament that's happening or just happened. I don't know. I think we're in the middle of it. I don't remember. And I want to see the teased match that was going to happen but didn't happen because of the pandemic between Endo and Omega.
Yeah, whenever Omega comes back, you know.
Yeah.
Speedy recovery, by the way, to Kenny. But I do want to see
You had some Fed stuff.
The main thing that I want to see, and I think this is something that everybody wants, Cody Rhodes, just finish your fucking story, dude. Just finish it. Unfortunately, though, I did see something. The Rock is back. Like, I think, and he actually said a line. Jinder Mahal returned. I kind of saw a little bit of the segment, and you know, this Jinder Mahal was the one who they fed the Rock to this time. Last time it was Austin Theory. Now it was Jinder Mahal, and then after that, the Rock said, you know, when I'm at a restaurant, should I sit at a booth, or should I sit at the bar, or should I sit at the head of the table? And that was the promo. So, making it completely obvious, he's going for Roman. I mean, yeah, I get that that's like the money match. But dude, Cody Rhodes, the only reason he came back is so he can win that title. Just give it to him, let him have it for a while. You want Dwayne to take it off of him, fine, but let the man just have his damn belt. Just give the man his belt. Just for some time. I legitimately, and it's probably not going to happen this year, and maybe I'm in the minority, I really want to see Cody Rhodes return to AEW. I just do. I think I would like to see it come, because I actually, unlike a lot of people, I do like Cody. I think he was fine. And I also like, and yeah, definitely he fits in very well in the Fed. But you know, I think it would just be cool to have. Actually, matter of fact, he can parlay everything he did in the Fed back to AEW, come back as a bad guy, and then go from there and say, "Look, I have a new contract, and now I'm coming for the world title." He can do that. But if it's Swerve, he's not winning. If it's Swerve, keep it on Swerve.
JF babyface,
yeah,
Cody heel.
That too. As a matter of fact, I would love to see Swerve slowly turn face as well, because I think more people are behind him, or at least be a tweener. Tweener is.
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah.
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't beat Samoa Joe and it's MJF, they'll probably do a double turn during the program or the match.
That'd be cool. Let me see what else. What else? Shit, I want to see so many people leave WWE, but unfortunately, nobody's contracted.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wish the freaking thing would just dissolve and everyone just had to show up other places.
That's not gonna happen.
I
That's
know.
not gonna happen. I mean, at this point, the main person I want to see leave WWE is Nakamura. He probably won't for
Yeah.
now. Although, I mean, I saw like his promos that he's doing. They're pretty good, but like even when he turned heel and he had apparently a good match with Seth Rollins, but he fucking lost. So, I mean, what was the point of him turning heel? You know, if you're gonna have the man turn heel, at least have him win. But I don't know. The only Japanese, I think, in the words of one YouTuber, the only Japanese person that got over was this one freaking Samoan dude, aka Yokozuna, right? So, yeah, that wasn't mine.
I'd say Asuka.
Or Asuka. I mean, male. But yeah,
I think Nakamura got over.
well, in NXT, sure, but not on the main roster.
No, I think he got over on the main roster. It's just they don't see him as world title.
Yeah,
Worthy.
they watched all the wrong clips of Nakamura in New Japan apparently. So anyway, mean, the only reason I would ever see, it's not obviously another thing that's not gonna happen. AEW WWE working partnership never gonna happen. Just like Marvel and DC working partnership never gonna happen. But should that ever happen, I mean, Kenny versus Nakamura.
I think Marvel and DC did.
It did, but it failed. It did, but
yeah.
I'm talking about like they're never gonna do like movies together. But anyway, unless you do it through Lego, because Lego owns Marvel and DC, those IPs. They should do it, but anyway, that's oh sorry, wrong channel. Anyway, but anyways, I think yeah, like if that were to happen, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. But in 24, I think yeah, like just a lot of people just need to leave WWE and go elsewhere. It doesn't have to be AEW. You know what? As a matter of fact, although I will say one person I would love to see make a WWE return, just a one-off, like at the Royal Rumble, Matt Cardona. I want to see him just in the Rumble. He doesn't need to. Yeah.
Have him come out with Steph DeLander and all of his indie titles. That would be fucking dope.
Yeah. If they can do it for Mickey James, they can do it for him. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see TNA become a viable, strong, third Western promotion. I don't know if that means Anthem decides to take it off of their channel access and get it onto a different channel.
Excuse me.
That probably would help. But
yeah,
I want more people to talk about Impact because it's a really good show. They have good wrestlers. They have good programs with the wrestlers. They have good vignettes. It's a good show. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I'm good too. But
all right.
Wish you all a very happy new year, 2024.
And
it's gonna be great. I certainly believe it. I'm not just saying that. I do truly believe it, and I hope everybody everybody gets what they're wanting here. And I want, I put out a message on Instagram, but I will just say it here. I'll just say that I hope everyone who's, wanting to do more, wanting to be more, and going through working on themselves last year. I hope you reap the rewards that you were working so hard towards this year.
I have a New Year's resolution for Armbar Audio.
Okay.
In honor of John.
Yeah.
We're going to cover more GCW, and we are going to do the fantasy card GCW versus AEW in his memory.
GCW versus AEW. All right, let's do it.
because when we were doing the Booker Man stuff, Chip did set up a show. I set up a show, and John was supposed to set up AEW versus GCW. So,
Okay.
yeah. 2023 had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and 2024 is shaping up to be great, personally.
Yeah.
And so, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one, and make this year count.
Yep.
Peace
Absolutely.
and love to all of you. Hey.
I don't know. All right.